Has the night off. The victims of the San Bernardino terrorist attack back in 2015 are now being remembered with a new memorial unveiled today. 14 people were killed. 22 others were injured that day when a couple opened fire at the Inland Regional Center. News Channel 3's Samantha Lomibao explains how the memorial pays tribute to those victims.
The Curtain of Courage Memorial is a place of reflection and honor as many commemorate the victims, survivors, and first responders of that tragic day in 2015.
Not a moment goes by that we don't remember each and every one of you.
A feeling of sorrow, unity, and remembrance swept the crowd as many looked back to the day their loved ones were taken from them.
We can be reminded not only of the individuals, but what our duties are to make sure things like this don't happen again.
Dozens of people came together to honor the 14 lives lost on December 2nd, 2015.
The heroism of the work that they did here and what they did that day, whether they're survivors or the ones that lost their lives, it's the American dream that continues to live on.
After years of planning and development, the Curtain of Courage Memorial was unveiled. A bronze steel-cut curtain separates 14 alcoves, representing each of the lives lost, each one personalized by their family members. Stained glass lies between the curtain, the color hand-picked to symbolize their loved one, along with the quote on each bench that they hold very near and dear to their heart.
Pain is temporary and love lasts forever. If you sit there and dwell and not let yourself grow or have the courage to grow, you won't find that peace.
Jolene Verdeo lost her mother in the attack.
Cherish every moment. Don't take any moment for granted because one day you might have that person and then the next day you don't.
She told me she misses her every day and that her legacy will never fade.
I look back at it and I miss my mother, of course, but I'm also grateful for all the moments that I've had in my life and all the, how much I've been able to grow as a woman and as a person, and kind of falling into her legacy and doing the things that she would have wanted me to do, and in a way making her proud.
Not only do these alcoves represent the victims and those impacted by the attack, but it's a place where those still living with grief can reflect.
All of the residents that watched in horror what happened here that December 2nd, and it gives them an opportunity to share with us and to mourn with the families. We cannot forget about these incidents. We cannot simply bury our loved ones and continue to live life as if nothing happens. And I think San Bernardino County has given us a perfect example of how we can move on.
This memorial, located right outside the county government center, will be open to the public on Monday, a place where the memories of those who lost their lives will live forever. In San Bernardino, Samantha Lomibao, News Channel 3.
New development.